This week's edition of SmackDown Live was red hot following the Royal Rumble, as the 2019 Women's Royal Rumble winner Becky Lynch would kick things off, but she would be interrupted by Charlotte Flair that would eventually lead to the two brawling. This was then followed by R-Truth coming out to the crowd, explaining how he was robbed at the Rumble, as had Nia Jax not attacked him and replaced him, he surely would have come out as the victor to face the champion at Wrestlemania. To compensate him, the McMahons granted him a title match against the newly crowned United States champion Shinsuke Nakamura, who defeated Rusev clean at the Royal Rumble. R-Truth was certainly not in a joking mood tonight, as right off the bat, he managed to counter Nakamura's Kinshasa. Clearly frustrated at the fact that he didn't manage to get his finisher in, Shinsuke followed it up by attempting to hit the landslide, but surprisingly, Truth countered by rolling him up, getting the 3 count to win the match and the title. The two immediately jumped to their feet to continue the match, unaware that the referee had made the 3 count and called for the bell. The win was so unexpected that even R-Truth couldn't believe it, but just before Truth could fully take in the win, Rusev arrived and challenged him for the title. Truth managed to get not 1 but 2 upset wins with a roll-up, as he also managed to defeat the Bulgarian Brute in the same night to retain the US Championship. But why? Why did R-Truth win the United States Championship now? Well, we have 3 reasons why. Number 1. An official new tag team. Let's admit it, the feud between Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev was average at best. The two seemed to be battling for what seemed like an eternity, starting their feud all the way back at the Crown Jewel event. The feud was admittedly great at the beginning, but it ran its course pretty quickly. As we previously mentioned, before Truth could celebrate his victory, he was attacked from behind by Nakamura. The King of Strong Style then brought back in the battered champion back into the ring, with the still irate Rusev joining in on the attack, dropping him with a Mashka kick and Nakamura delivering a Kinshasa. Both men looked satisfied with their dirty work, standing tall as Truth was laid out on the mat. Whilst we not only just saw a heel turn for Rusev, we also saw a brief alliance between the two as they challenged Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Whilst it's just supposed to be for one night, WWE can make them an official tag team, as it's been rumoured that in order to compete with All Elite Wrestling, WWE wants to focus more on its tag team division, expanding it by creating new teams. Not only could we see Nakamura and Rusev team up, but there's also been talk of Mysterio and Andrade also teaming, even though they are currently feuding with each other. But you'll remember this has happened in the past, as those will recall this is how the bar came together. Number 2. It was a mistake. If you look carefully, when referee Mike Chioda made the count, you can quite clearly see that Nakamura lifts up his shoulder just before the 3 count, leading some to believe that it was a mistake and R-Truth was never supposed to win the title. The thing is, Mike Chioda is not your typical run-of-the-mill referee. He's a veteran and WWE's longest tenured referee, having been with the company since 1989 and officiated some of the biggest matches in WWE history. Chioda is human after all, and has made mistakes in the past, but he would have known the finish before the match and knew what he was doing, though there is the possibility that another roll-up later on in the match could have been the finish. The uncertainty of whether Truth actually won the match fairly could be mentioned next week, leading to a rematch between him and Nakamura on SmackDown or at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, as WWE can't really use the rematch clause anymore since they did away with the rule just after the Christmas holidays. And number 3. A final run. Believe it or not, R-Truth, real name Ron Killings, is almost reaching 50 years of age and has been wrestling since 1997, thus he might not have a lot of years left in the business. He originally joined the WWE all the way back in 1999 as K-Quick, joining the main roster in 2000 and forming an alliance with the Road Dogg. He would be there until 2001, where his biggest achievement was winning the Hardcore Championship just before leaving for TNA. WWE brought him back several years later as he managed to capture his second championship, the United States title, in 2010. He's been with the company ever since and has gained a close friendship with Vince McMahon, as he's been regarded as a loyal worker and one of few people to genuinely make Vince cry with laughter. With his age, retirement could just be around the corner for Truth, as he could give up wrestling and transition into a backstage role. His retirement has been rumoured for the past 2 years, and 2019 may be the final year for his career as a WWE superstar. Perhaps this is just a way of WWE saying thank you. What do you guys think about Truth winning the championship? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.